Happy autumn equinox and new moon in Virgo a few days ago. I'd like to start with an apology that I hadn't done this video updates in quite some time, neither for new moon or full moon. And for this past 6 weeks or so, let's see, I had my own wedding. We produced it in this backyard, beautiful location. Had my family visit me from Japan. Then we took off to Italy for our honeymoon. Then we landed in London for this intensive that both my husband and I attended. Then I supported Destin, my husband's event, and then we did an exploration event together in London. Then we flew back home about 4 days ago, all the while growing a baby. Look how much bigger she is now. And I'm also starting to teach a prenatal yoga class at a yoga studio in Rancho Bernardo starting next week. So all of this was going on. And I'm sure a lot was going on for your life as well, around before and after the solar eclipse. Now, energy has been so intense, and I want to share this download of what all this is meaning, what all this is teaching us. So, autumn equinox falls into 180 degrees on a earth calendar that I use. It's a calendar that starts on spring equinox, and then there's the summer solstice, fall equinox, that's half of the year, winter solstice, 3/4 of the year, and then it makes its cycle into the spring. And at this time, the season changes, right? The fall equinox is the time when the young energy, the sun, lots of this vibrant summer energy is turning into yin energy of the winter. Right, so the harvest happens and animals collect and prepare themselves for this cold winter to come. And that's the energy shift that we're going through. And at this time, we all want to be very careful with our health because, well, you might be able to tell from my voice also, but I'm still recovering. I've completely lost my health during my Europe travel, and it's really important now because especially with all this Virgo energies that's going on, because Virgos are connected with our body and our health as well. So we just had new moon in Virgo, and sun is actually transitioning out of Virgo into Libra, but we still have 3 planets in Virgo. So the sign of Virgo is the sign of service. She's all about helping other people, almost self-sacrificing. Such a hard worker. And it can be a lot of physical activities, like so busyness in life, but as well as busyness in the mind. She can be very intellectual and heady. And because Virgos are so perfect, like Virgos want everything perfect. So this perfectionism creates criticism. They're quite analytical and critical towards themselves and others. So, at this time, we all want to remember to be gentle with ourselves. I have compassion for all this intensity that we're swimming in. I caught it myself yesterday also. And I felt like I was gone for quite some time and there's all these things to catch up and I'm not catching up. I'm not doing much. But the reality is I have actually done a lot. It's this inner voice, the inner critique that was kind of beating myself up from inside. And it's also very likely that you're dealing with this too, of the inner critique being louder than usual, right? The inner criticism brings insecurities and fear and self-doubts. And so we don't want to deal with that. it's a good time to really remember that all this Virgo energy can make this happen, and to really be compassionate with ourselves. As the season was changing from summer into fall, into winter, right? The yang energy into yin energy, there's that Leo was all about love and passion and fire and this active, energies of fire. And that shift into Virgo was a shift into the earth, into this reality. So we really want to get real now. We really want to look at our lives. How are we handling things? What's my finance? What's my emotional states? What are my disciplines, habits? All these things are really now all these things are now being asked of you to figure your life out. To explain a little bit about this intensity that we're feeling, there's this planets far, far away, and they're all in very tense relationship with our personal planets right now. We have Sun and Mercury squaring Saturn. So the Saturn is like this wise teacher. He's the responsible one. He's all about structures and discipline, right? And our Sun, our dough, and Mercury, our mind, is under pressure. It could be pressure from the authority. It could be, school teachers, your parents, government, your bosses, whatever it is. Or it might be this inner authority, like this inner critique that I was talking about, right? Because we create habits, and that inner habits can take over authorities of our feelings. So at this time, there's a lot of pressure going on. And in worse, Saturn is squaring Neptune, so that just brings even more intensity. Then there's the personal planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, all opposing Neptune. Right? Neptune is this unconscious world, this psychotic and addict. There's a very strong tendency right now for us to want to escape and check out. It's so intense, right? And combined with the Chiron, our wounded healer in the sign of Pisces, which is also connected to this, escapism and checking out, daydreaming and kind of going away from reality. And so there's that energy that's really opposite going on, the pull towards escape from Pisces and wanting to be here, grounding and living my life and doing things in the sign of Virgo. And because of this oppositions and squares, we're so sensitive right now. We're so vulnerable at this time. And one great advice would be for us to find a spiritual discipline, some sort of practice that will bring us grounded and centered. And because Neptune is connected to 7th chakra, so if you can meditate, great. Really come back home to your center, to your core, because staying grounded is the key in this time of intensity. Then lastly, we have Mercury and Mars trining Pluto. And Pluto is this planet of the underworld, of this alchemical fire. It's like the phoenix. It burns you so you can transform yourself and revive. So what it says is that all this intensity is a great opportunity for us to transform our wound into healing, transform our weakness into power, transform our love into service. And we're also at the tail end of Saturn and Sagittarius, this whole journey of past 3 years or so about this internal search for our truth, right? What is your truth? The question that we kept experiencing was, what is your truth? Is your action in alignment with your truth? What is your integrity? What do you believe in? And all this journey is coming to a close, because in about a couple of months, that Saturn is going to transition into sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn being the earth sign, it's going to be time to manifest, to put those faith and truth you found into action in 2018. And along with that, there's another big planet, Jupiter, is preparing to transition out of Libra into sign of Scorpio. So, Libra being about relationship, there's been a lot of expansion and challenges in our relationships to oneself and with others, right? And this is kind of coming to its end, so that when next month or less than a month, this big planet moves into sign of Scorpio. Again, it's a sign of transformation. Very magical sign with intense energy. So, if we can take this time now, all the intensity that's going on, as a preparational time for the bigger future to come, the bigger leap in life to come. So my suggestion for you is to find a practice that will bring you back home in your body. Wishing you a beautiful autumn equinox and healthy life. Namaste. Thank you.